I let my self-image be dictated by what other people said about me, and I let my self-image be dictated by my weight.
If you could like speak to like any struggling like bigger guys or girls out there like who are struggling with confidence, I have no clue my head even like get like started like on the journey.
Giving yourself grace is something that a lot of people really struggle with, especially kind of that like that guilt and that shame that you were talking about,
Right.
that punishment sort of thing. I've done it. I did it on my journey, and it just doesn't serve any freaking purpose.
How do you go about like motivating people like to like make changes like how do you get them like to do so in like a healthy way like without like shaming or bullying them?
Every day the sun rises, you're showing up, right? Every day that ends in Y, you're showing up.
Had you ever had past attempts like at this like that actually failed?
Long story short, my ACL was tore. So it's like the lamest way possible to tear your ACL.
Yeah.
Give me a
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Bryce. Like, you guys know, must be that you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on the video. Follow me on every platform, and if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through by Jared Bryce. All links purchased on my website, which is jaredbryanweiss.com. That's JAREDRYANWEIS.com. Buy the book, support me, and make sure to check out all awesome shirts in there as well. Every shirt has been designed by me. Every shirt is made with 100% organic cotton, so any support at all, as I'm always going to be very greatly appreciated. So, for today's episode, like I'm actually being joined by the biggest fella himself, like aka Noah Tanner. Like so like for those of you who don't know, it's like I actually went on like his podcast a few weeks ago, but like for today's episode, like I'm actually extremely grateful like, to have him like on my channel today. So like in many ways, without further ado, would you mind like introducing yourself and like telling the people like a little bit more like about like who the biggest file is and then like from there, like the favorite, like a lot of like topics, I can't wait, like to dive deeper into with you.
Yeah. So I'm Noah. I lost 110 pounds in COVID 2020 and kept it off for, I mean, it's 2026, so since then. And after that, I just kind of fell into sharing my story on social media. I started just talking about my weight loss journey without any like real goals or aspirations of making it a career. And then one thing led to another. I saw a lot of really amazing messages and supported messages after sharing my journey with people, and just started decided, you know what, I'm going to give this a crack. I'm going to try to turn this into a career, and here we are. I've now turned into a big fella brand. I've been running my business for over 3 years now. I'm a weight loss and mindset coach. I help kind of guide people through managing their stress, losing weight, building muscle, and more importantly, just kind of building confidence to have a bigger impact in their lives. I feel like we are in a bit of a distraction overload for a lot of folks nowadays, and I
For
think
sure.
minimizing distractions and getting back to baseline and understanding some of the core fundamentals of hard work and giving yourself some grace. There's a lot of perfectionists in the world. I was one of them for a very long time.
I'm
There's
the
a lot of
same
people
way.
stuck in kind of a stress loop as well, where they set really high expectations for themselves. And I had to overcome a lot of really negative self-deprecating thoughts on my journey, and I had a really bad relationship with myself and how I was managing stress for a really long time. And so that's kind of where my content kind of circles around, is being able to transform and not needing any sort of shortcuts or extra outside things that society tries to push on you. It can all come from you, and I'm very much about just kind of building up yourself so you can then help better people, or help other people better. Excuse me. Kind of the idea that you can't pour from an empty cup. I truly believe if you can learn how to build your own confidence through building your physique and building your body, and you can know how to take care of yourself properly. Specifically with guys, we don't know how to take care of ourselves mentally and physically as much as we'd like to say we do. A lot of people get stuck in the loop of burning themselves out just for the sake of a paycheck or for whatever it might be. But you know, that long term isn't sustainable. So I'm all about sustainability and the lifestyle that you build. And if you can do that, you can become a hell of a leader and you can really change lives.
Love that. So like branching off of that like so like my first question like I have for you is so like how did you go about like taking on like this massive goal as far as like losing like over like 100 pounds and had you ever had past attempts at this like that actually failed for instance like I actually came across like one of your posts today like actually actually spoke about tanking your MT levels really like bad like relationship with your body and so like would you mind like explaining on like all that for me?
Yeah, yeah. So I absolutely had multiple journeys that I had failed before I lost the weight successfully. I was overweight my whole life. Growing up as a kid through elementary, middle school, high school, I was 300-pound high schooler. I'm also 6'4", so I was on the taller side, so that definitely played a factor. And some people said that it kind of hid some of my fat. I let it really affect a lot of my confidence. And kind of throughout high school, especially as I was starting to get a little bit older, I would try a bunch of different things to lose weight. I would try like sprinting workouts. I would try fasting. I tried a lot of different intermittent fasting techniques where I actually gained weight.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's just
crazy.
because I was eating for a family of seven. I wouldn't eat
Mm-hmm.
all day, and then dinner time was like 6,000 calories. So it's like I didn't know anything about calories. I didn't know anything about protein at the time, fiber intake, calorie deficit, nothing like that. So I was making a lot of the mistakes that I see a lot of adults make, and I was just kind of guessing and fumbling around in the dark, and it definitely played a much bigger factor into my personal confidence as well. I had a lot, like I said, a lot of self-deprecation issues, and I let my self-image be dictated by what other people said about me, and I let my self-image be dictated by my weight. And I always tell people when I lost the weight, after that kind of taught myself what confidence tasted like, you know, what it was like. I wouldn't call myself a confident person like right after the weight loss, but I'd say over these past few years, I've really stepped into being a confident person, but understanding the line of cockiness because I was bullied by the cocky kids growing up. So you didn't want to, you never want to be someone that caused you pain, right? You never want to be like that, and that's the one thing I will make sure I never become. Um, but kind of what you mentioned off of one of my posts is during my weight loss, like I said, when I first started, it was COVID. So I had all the time in the world. I was finishing college online and I was playing video games all the time, and I got bored. And so I was like in the shower one day, I was like, if I can't lose weight when I have every hour of every day to my life. Here's Doodle, by the way. He showed up on the on
He's
our
so
last
cute, right?
podcast. Yeah,
Yes. Hi,
he
Doodle.
showed up on our last one. Yep. He likes attention. He likes it when I'm on the phone with people. Um, anyway, the it was just kind of a question to myself. I was like, dude, you have all the free time you will ever have. You will never have this much free time again as an adult, right? I was 18, so I was like, you'll never have this time back, right? You have to get this done now. If you what makes you think you're going to be able to lose the weight with a 9 to 5 and then eventually, you know, a house and kids and all this other stuff, right? So it's like now's the time. If I don't do it now, when? If not now, when? And that's kind of the mindset that I picked up, and I just started taking a bunch of action. That's kind of the answer. It's the boring answer. It's the non-glamorous answer, but it's the truest answer out there. It was just taking a bunch of imperfect action, and that's kind of the thing I've been championing for a very long time is just make it exist first, then make it good. And that was kind of my mindset walking into this. Even when I didn't have a lot of the knowledge or experience that I obviously have now, I I was running like I was big, and I ran a mile, walked 2 miles, biked a mile, or biked 2 miles, excuse me, walked a mile. did some swimming workouts, did dumbbell workouts, and I would do these every single day. Right, it would be like a 2 or 3 hour workout every single day because I had nothing else to do. I was bored out of my
Mm.
mind. It was the middle of summer too, so it was nice out. So I wanted to take advantage of the weather. And my neighbor did it with me a lot of the days as well. Shout out Marcus. But it was a lot of over exercising, and then I just did a lot of under eating. I forced myself into meal
Mm.
prepping for a while, and again, I had a lot of time to learn about it. I kind of obsessed over it for quite a while. I learned very fast, but also I was doing things super unsustainably. And then after a few months, I was losing weight at a very rapid rate. The average rate of healthy weight loss is about 4 to 5 pounds a month. I was losing like 10 to 15 pounds a month.
Really?
And so I didn't realize that how fast that was and how it shouldn't be that fast. And then over time, after about 8 months, I lost 100 pounds, and I throughout that journey kind of found myself like, okay, I gotta switch some things around. About halfway through, I kind of had a reality check. It's like, man, why can't I sleep very well? Why do I have no sex drive? Why do I have no energy? Why do I feel like crap all the time? Why am I so cranky? It's because I wasn't eating enough dietary fats, and I
Right.
was just under eating, period. I wasn't getting all my nutrients in as a 18-year-old, 6'4", 300, or at that point I was probably like 260, 250. Exercising 3 hours a day. Like I was eating as much as like a cheerleader should be eating. So like just like a 5'2", 130-pound girl would be eating is what I was
Right.
eating, right? That was my calories for the day. It was ridiculous. And so after experiencing that, I was able to kind of correct things, right the ship a little bit, start eating a little bit more. But then after the tail end of the journey happened, and I hit that 100-pound goal, and I realized I needed to start eating more. Um, I started experiencing like low blood pressure. It's called orthostatic hypotension, which just means low blood pressure when you're standing.
Mm.
And I would stand up, like you ever stand up and then you stand up too quickly, and then your eyes get kind of,
Dizzy.
yeah, you get a little
Right.
dizzy, your eyes
Yes.
start kind of closing in a little bit. It was
Yeah.
like that on steroids all the time.
Wow.
And so I would just faint every once in a while.
Really?
Yeah. And one morning I woke up on a Saturday morning, just normal Saturday, walked to the bathroom, completely blacked out. Tried to grab like the trim of the doorway of the doorway walking into the bathroom to catch myself, couldn't do it. Blacked out, came to, my knee hurt. Long story short, my ACL was tore. So it's like the lamest way possible to tear your ACL.
Yeah.
So that's kind
Dunking
of
a
what I,
basketball or
right, yeah, fighting
playing
a
football.
bear or like saving orphans from a burning building. It could be anything, but no, I had a low blood pressure, right? And I attribute I was never explicitly told by a doctor that it was due to the weight loss, but I've never experienced that again. And it happened right after 9 months of extreme exercise and severe under dieting. So I'm connecting the dots on that.
That makes
Um,
sense.
and once I started eating more and getting tested, things got better, right? So it's just kind of my cautionary tale that there is such a thing as too fast, too aggressive of weight loss. And even if, first of all, you're probably not going to stick to it if you're doing it that way. I was just be able to because I had a lot of willpower and a ton of time on my hands.
Right.
And then the second thing is, even if you do stick to it and you try to keep it that fast, your body will smack you back.
Awesome. So like I'm actually finally that whole story like to be like super like interesting and like definitely happens to be like a cautionary like message like for anyone out there who's like jumping into like many type like health journey I'm all in I'm all out like every day so like, I'm doing it that way definitely isn't gonna be healthy and like something that can like give you like the best results in the long run. So like my next like question for you though, so like how do you go about like so like and transitioning into the whole coaching end of things so like how do you go about motivating people to like make changes like how do you get them to do so in like a healthy way without like shaming or bullying them so like one of my favorite parts, like when it comes cheer content, everything me UX talk about, when it comes so all the big fellas out there, everything it's actually coming from a place of compassion so it's like none of it it's actually about shaming and bullying them. So how important is that when it comes to your overall philosophy, and then and then furthermore why do you think shame based fitness and shame based eating ultimately ends up failing long term?
Yeah, I mean, I love being a coach. A lot of my mindset early on was very grind set, like very grind, push, 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 push. I know David Goggins, I'm sure you're
Very,
familiar,
of course.
is he was a huge hero of mine for a very long time, and he was somebody that really helped me push through, especially on that initial journey. I know sometimes people's perceptions on him have changed a little bit over the years. I think it's important to still tap into that every once in a
Right,
while.
for sure.
But at the beginning, it was like my only motivation. And I had to unlearn kind of a lot. He and a couple other mentors of mine kind of taught me the power of just unrelenting action, and I think that's kind of the first lesson people need to learn is just showing up. Just being every day the sun rises, you're showing up, right? Every day that ends in Y, you're showing up. And I think the big thing when it comes to coaching is you have to put yourself in their shoes, and I'm incredibly grateful for, and being able to coach as many people as I have in my business and being able as big as it's been is I have the experience because I've lived it, right?
Exactly. You're
And
awesome at that.
so I've been there. Thank you. I've been there, and it's not the one of the biggest mental hurdles that most people struggle with is they'll set too steep of expectations on themselves at the beginning. They say, I really want this. I really want this. They'll have a strong why, which is important. It's
Yeah,
very important. Like, you got to know why you want to do this, right? Do you want to be the best dad you can be? Do you want to be a mom one day and you're worried about not being able to be pregnant, right? Or do you struggle with social anxiety and you hate the way your body looks in the mirror? There's all valid reasons. There's all valid whys. But one of the biggest problems that I face with people that I work with, that I struggled with too, is going too hard too fast and setting too steep of expectations. Those are kind of two problems in the same package, right? So what it typically will manifest in when they're not having guidance from a coach like me or somebody else is they will create a workout plan for themselves that's just not sustainable. They will cut out sugars and breads and all these other really basically everything they like, right? They'll
right.
try low carb or this or that, not being fully informed on the situation and just trying to go through it on that grind set mindset, right? Which again,
It
I
has its
think that's
place.
helpful. It has its place, but they're looking at it in the wrong frame of mind. In my eyes, you use that motivation, you use that grind set thinking to say, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm still going to do it. That idea of imperfect action. It's like, I don't care if I'm hurting a little bit, I'm still going to go get my steps in. Maybe I don't get everything on my to-do list done, or maybe I don't get everything I wanted to get done, but I get my daily, excuse me, I get
It's
my
all good.
daily non-negotiables done first, right?
Right.
And so, because you're not going to have 10 out of 10 motivation, you're not going to have 10 out of 10 energy, you're not going to have 10 out of 10 drive every day. And so it's about having that imperfect action and not setting this expectation of perfection. One of my big things is expecting perfection guarantees disappointment,
All right.
right? And so if you expect perfect out of yourself, especially out of the jump, it's like, dude, you're not gonna lose 7 years worth of fat that you've built up in 3 months. It's just not going to happen, right? And so I think it comes with having realistic expectations, biting off way less than they know they can chew. That's the next thing is to combat some of these unrealistic expectations. I say, let's start with something redundantly simple that you know you can stick to for 30 days.
Atomic
Let's
habit stuff.
Exactly. Right. And the funny thing is, dude, I've built my coaching program around and my whole ethos around it. I still haven't even read that freaking book yet.
Same
I
here,
know
yeah.
I know so much about James
Same,
Clear and I
same
pull
here.
so
I'm the
much
same way.
from
I've been, I've been actually read like any of his book, be it like I don't know.
it's on my list. It's on my
Yeah,
list, but I'm
same
reading
here.
I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People right now, and that's
Gotcha.
going really well. So um regardless, it's really just about getting people out of their own head, giving them a clear goal, like, hey, this is where we're going to go. First thing we got to do is just get you in the act of taking imperfect action and doing it on the hard days, right? Raise your standard of what a bad day looks like. Take baby steps, I call them micro habits, and you have a linear roadmap step by step. We're not going to talk about perfecting a 5 day workout split until you can show me that you can log your food for 30 days, right? And
Mm,
everybody's different. It's a different process for each person, but all of that comes within also last thing, giving people grace, giving yourself grace is something that a lot of people really struggle with, especially kind of that like that guilt and that shame that you were talking about,
right,
that punishment sort of thing. I've done it. I did it on my journey, and it just doesn't serve any freaking purpose. It really doesn't. People think it's productive. People like to think that it's hardcore. It's just stupid. Like, and if you can, like, real high performers don't do it. Like
right.
the highest performers have fun with it. Like, I don't know if you talked about this on one of your recent episodes, but the ice skater who just won gold for the USA.
Right.
I forget her name. It's like
Alyssa
Alyssa.
Liu,
Yeah,
I
I think
think,
that's what. Yeah,
right?
Alyssa Liu. She was having fun with it the whole time, right? She enjoyed the process. She just got out there and was fully herself and enjoyed the whole process. And so, do you think there was a lot of guilt or shame around what she was doing? No, but now
Probably
she's an
not.
Olympic gold medalist for the rest of time.
Exactly.
For the rest of history, she's an Olympic gold medalist because she put in the work and she trusted herself and she enjoyed the process. And I think removing a lot of that guilt and shame, I call guilt the least efficient emotion, where nothing ever really good comes from that guilt. You can acknowledge it, but the most important thing is not wallowing in it and picking your next action, your next step forward, right? And so that's kind of where I like to piece it together for a lot of people because people will make mistakes. I walk in when people join my program, it's to be like, hey, newsflash, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to screw up a little bit. Newsflash, this is going to be an imperfect journey. You just have to be ready for that. We have to price those mistakes in.
Mm,
Whether it's your fault on the mistake or somebody else's, you have to be ready to make those mistakes and still keep showing up. And so that's kind of the mindset that I like to create is like, let's enjoy the process as much as we can. If we do screw up, let's learn from it and then move forward. Let's not sit there and just shame ourselves over it because nothing gets done that way.
love that. So like branching further like off of that. So like how do you actually go about helping people to feel like confident prior to them actually achieving their goals as far as having a dream body or having that dream physique so how do you actually help them feel confident and who they actually are as people beyond what this person looks like.
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a couple things that I do. One is I remind them that they're confident in other parts of their life. They're just not confident in this one.
Hmm. Powerful.
It's like I usually bring up their job or their
Hmm.
ability to parent. I work with a lot of parents. It's like, are you a good dad? We're like, yeah. It's like, really? Like, yeah. It's like, okay. You wouldn't be questioned if somebody questioned your ability to be a good dad, you wouldn't care what they said because you know the truth, right? They'd be like, yeah, that's confidence. So you're a confident person. You're just not confident in this realm of your life.
Hmm.
Why? Because you're missing proof. You have proof that you're a good dad. You don't have proof that you're a healthy person yet,
That's
right?
awesome.
And so that's kind of one of the big mindset shifts that I use for a lot of people. Outside of that, though, and the actual within the process of it, like in the day to day, like 2, 3 months in, when they've seen like, 10, 15 pounds lost, but they're not at the 120-pound goal that they originally wanted, right? Like they're getting there, but it takes time, right? You need to add
Right.
time to the equation.
Great
Uh,
things take time.
exactly. And part of it is reminding them of those things, right? But a lot of it is celebrating the small wins. A
Mm.
lot of it is celebrating the small wins because they're in the middle of a bit of an identity shift a lot of the time. I work with people who want to lose a lot of weight. I work with people who want to really transform their lives. And so rarely do I have people coming and asking me for help who are looking to just lose like 20 pounds for summer. I have people looking to me to lose 40, 50, 80 pounds or just completely transform how their whole lifestyle runs, right? I'm a lifestyle coach more than anything else. And I get brought into big problems. I don't really get asked to solve small problems, right? Which I
Right.
love. I love like bring it on. Um, but when you're in the middle of that change and things get really uncomfortable, everyone has dark days. Everyone has gloomy days. Everyone struggles, right? No single client has been perfect that I've ever worked with. No single client has never had a bad day. Everyone has them. And so it's about reminding yourself and keeping those reminders close of the wins that you've had recently. So I make a really big deal for most of my clients. The first question on their check-in, what was your win this week? Right?
Mm.
And sometimes it's oh, this shirt feels better. Sometimes it's new low on the scale. Sometimes it's I PR'd on my incline bench press. Whatever it might be. If we can keep those top of mind and we can stay looking for those and we can stay committed to our process and understand that short-term outcomes are simply a distraction. Shout out Nick Saban. He talks a lot about this.
Legendary coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Legendary.
And so he talks about how short-term outcomes are a distraction, and that's a lot of what I remind folks of too. Is like whatever the scale says today does not dictate what we do today, tomorrow, or the next day. Are you at your goal weight yet? No? Cool. And what the scale says doesn't really matter. If it went up by half a pound, but you showed up the best way you could, cool. You didn't do anything wrong. What are your actions? What are your actions showing? Right? The scale will be a dirty liar sometimes.
Mm.
And having that perspective and giving people that added perspective of like, don't worry about what the scale is telling you, worry about what your actions are. How are you
Right.
showing up? And if you're committing to your process, then you have nothing to worry about. And if there is something wrong when you're committing to your process and the scale still isn't moving very well, that's where I adjust the plan.
Yes. Exactly. So like curious though. So like what was like most powerful transformation story that you actually came across? Like how did you like help get that person over any of the massive hurdles that person was facing?
Man. Oh, I could list so many.
Too many. Pick one if you
So,
don't mind.
uh, I'll give a couple brief
All right.
examples of just a
Awesome.
handful.
Yeah.
Um, I've seen I've seen people pull themselves out of depression. I've seen people go through getting cheated on, working 80 hours a week, not to get too deep, but was dealing with self-harm thoughts. Um, and pull out a 60-pound weight loss journey at the end of it
Really.
and have a completely
That's
transformed mindset. And
incredible.
her and I shared some pretty deep conversations. I've seen people have to carry a lot of extra weight emotionally as a younger guy. I've got a younger guy that I work with who's down 80 pounds, 60 pounds with me, 80 pounds in total, or 50
Mm-hmm.
pounds with me, 80 pounds in total. And he has to carry a lot of weight where he's basically, for the lack of a better word, fathering his little brother as a young man and trying to be a better, trying to carry a lot of family trauma with his parents while also fathering his little brother, while also trying to lead and become a better man himself by coaching an AAU basketball team. right? And losing weight and working full time.
Right.
I've seen people create their 5 year life plan and complete it in three. Get married, have kids, lose 40 pounds. Build a home gym. I've seen them do that. I got a guy out in Pennsylvania that's done that before. I've seen multiple clients lose over 100 pounds. My first one's name was Kenyon. Zeth lost over 100 pounds. Spencer's lost over 100 pounds. I know I'm forgetting one or two more, but those are the people that come to mind right now.
That's amazing. So come on. What are some of them? You were like biggest like non like habits you do like on a daily basis, like and also instruct over your clients to do so everyone should be doing these things like on like a daily basis.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Walking,
Love that.
eating protein and fiber and healthy fats. Um, Journaling every morning. Definitely journaling in the morning. That's a newer one for me, but it's been completely transformative. Um, and just containing or continuously having the mindset of a student, which isn't really a habit, but it's more of just a mental frame to remind you
Mindset.
of. Yeah, yeah. I would say, I mean, obviously strength training as well. That's a pretty easy one to say. But I would say if you can work out and journal in the mornings, right? It doesn't have to be a full 3 hour meditation, cold shower, cold plunge bullshit. It can be, excuse my language. I don't know if I'm allowed to
So
cuss on here.
so good. You're good. You're good.
um, but a lot of it if you can get a quick 30-minute workout in and journal your thoughts first thing in the morning before you touch a screen, you can get 2 outside walks a day. You're doing so much for your mental and physical health. You have no freaking idea. You have no freaking idea how much better you will feel. I've been starting doing it. I'm a chronic worrier. I get it from my mom. I haven't been
Same here.
diagnosed with anything, but oh my goodness, I'm a chronic anxiety worry wart. And
Uh
ever since doing those things regularly, my mental clarity is at an all-time high. I'm seeing results in the gym. I'm training for a marathon right now, and it's been fun and
how's that
enjoyable.
going?
Good, man. It's certainly finally starting to warm up around here in Michigan, so I can actually get some outdoor runs in again. I
Really?
finally got a good long run in this weekend. Yeah, man, because it's been a blizzard here in Michigan in January and February. I mean, it
Same
usually
here.
is, but it's been
Same here.
heavy. It's been
Same
heavy.
here. We just
So
got like so my ex just got like 20 inches of snow like come on some Sunday. It was crazy.
yeah, yeah. No, I know the East Coast got hit pretty hard the other
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been going good, man. I've been cranking up the distance. I just had to do a lot of like shorter runs, like 1, 2, 3 mile runs for like speed on the treadmills,
Right.
because a 10 mile run on the treadmill, I would rather do just about anything else.
Really.
Oh, it sucks. I hate
It's that
treadmill
bad.
running. For some people it's not. For me, I hate it.
Mm.
That's just a personal thing.
Right. Got you.
So
Preferences.
if I'm doing anything over 3 miles, get me outside.
Right. Got you. So like my next question for you. So like if you can go back in time and like have a conversation like with your younger self, so it could be like your high school self, like, it could be like middle school self, like so like what type of like advice or like more possibly like, any type of like wisdom like would you be like imparting like onto your younger self?
Oh man, I've got so many quotes and maxims that I could use, but I think the main thing I would say is focus on what's in your control and ignore the things out of your control. It's just one of those things that you have to continuously remind yourself of every day, especially if you're an overthinker. And then the second thing is don't you get to decide what you think about yourself. Other people don't. And if people are saying I hung out with some people that were kind of dickheads to me when I was younger,
Same
and
here. I dealt with that
I
also.
wish I would have separated myself from a lot of them sooner.
Hmm.
So I would say don't hang around people that don't make you feel good about yourself. Again, it's not like you need to surround yourself with yes men, but
Right.
you should have people who challenge you, but you should also have people who are supportive of what you want to do. And again, I was younger, so there's going to be kids that are teasing. Like this is a natural part of growing up. Like it's just part of the game, so it's not anything too ridiculous. But who you surround yourself with really matters. So I'd say focus more on what you can control, and that you get to decide it. You get to dictate it.
Right. My final question to you was like if you could like speak to like many struggling bigger guys like so like bigger guys or girls out there like we're struggling with confidence like no clue had even like get like started like on the journey and so like if you could like talk to them like right now and like leave them like with some powerful nuggets of like wisdom inspiration what would those final nuggets of wisdom be? So the answer to my question is
My answer, that's a good one. So, if you're a bigger guy or a bigger gal who is struggling with confidence and not really sure where to start, you are not in the business of losing weight yet. You are in the business of collecting proof and information. That's what you're here to do. You collect proof that you are someone who takes care of their health, right? You don't have the proof yet. You don't feel the proof yet. And that's where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from evidence. And so, what you need to work on is picking one singular habit that you can collect your proof with. Because if you can see yourself go for a 20-minute walk after work every single day for 30 days, that's proof. That proof shows up, right? And that shows up in how you think about yourself. And you're not going to lose 100 pounds doing that. But that's how you start it instead of just sitting here and trying to just send a Hail Mary, right? So many people are trying to
right.
trying to lose weight like throwing Hail Marys every play. It's like,
Mm.
let's just go get 4 yards and a run up the middle sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just got to get the ball rolling a little bit here. So the first thing I would say is you need to collect proof through a small daily action that you can do that even on your hardest days, that you can do. That's the biggest shift that people need to make is like, what can I do on my best? No. Pick a habit that you can do on the hardest days. Pick a habit that you can stick to on a bad day.
Every
Like I know even
single
if I have a
day.
bad day, I can go for a walk still. I know on a bad day, I can still log my food, right?
Mm. Right.
Little small baby habits like that compound over time because you don't have the skill set yet to have 6 or 7 new habits yet. You
Right.
have the capacity for one new one. So collect evidence with a small daily habit. Walking is a great one. Doesn't have to be walking. It's usually good to start with walking. Collecting information. If you don't know the ins and outs of weight loss as good as you'd like, knowledge is power. Once you learn it, you don't really unlearn it, right? Then you just need to be reminded every once in a while. But once you can understand what a calorie deficit looks like, what the power of protein does, what fiber does for you, right? What strength training can do for you, once you can learn that information from a narrow source, not doom scrolling on TikTok and Instagram, picking one person to learn from and keeping your focus narrow, right? The best way to sabotage yourself is ask everybody what to do.
Right.
Ask one person who has done what you want to do and is helping other people do the same thing. You don't have to hire a coach necessarily, but find people with experience and trust them and follow through with what they say instead of taking and collecting information from 20,000 people on Instagram or TikTok.
Love that. So that was actually my fantastic answer. So everything was answered so perfectly. But like having said that, so I actually came up with one more final question I have for you. How do you make sure that healthy eating and healthy lifestyle and healthy fitness it doesn't turn into disordered like eating and how do you actually draw that line between that for people?
Yeah, no, that's a really big question. It's something I have experience with personally, and it's something I've helped a lot of folks with. A lot of it just comes down to simplification of everything. A lot of it just comes down to simplifying, what food is for you. When it comes to making it less painful, I guess, is it comes down to making it less restrictive, right?
Right.
It comes down to making it more enjoyable a lot of the time. Whether that is, finding a fun food that you can eat in moderation on a regular basis, or finding a way to find a food swap that you enjoy, right? Like I really like things like protein ice cream, for
Mm-hmm.
example. That's a really, really good one. Where it's high protein, it's tasty, it's nutrient dense, it fills me up, and it makes me feel like I'm cheating. And little things like
Right.
that, cheating. But little things like that go a long way. But I'd say more than anything is it's kind of simplifying some of those thoughts. And one thing I really like to do as a tool is I'm not huge on meal prepping per se, but what I do like having is giving yourself a general plan to follow, giving yourself a general focus of work to do where it's like, let me plan out my work and my eating in the mornings as far
Mm-hmm.
as like where I'm going to get my food from in the first 10 to 15 minutes of my actual day, right? Like when I wake up, I'm driving to the gym, for example, right? Like, okay, what am I going to eat today? I have my coffee in my hand. What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to have for dinner? And then once you have a general idea, it's like, okay, I got that steak in the fridge. I'll do that for dinner. Like, okay, I'm gonna go out with lunch for the coworkers, but I know what I'm gonna order, so it's within my macros, and I know I've got some Greek yogurt to have in the fridge, right, for
Right.
breakfast. Little things like that, where you like just give yourself some basic guidelines
Mm.
to where it's like you're not thinking about food all day. That's
Right.
the big thing, right? I had a client join the program somewhat recently, and she had a lot of food. It's called food noise. We call it food noise when you're struggling with disordered eating. You're thinking about eating all the time.
Mm.
I like to call it food noise, and one of the big ones is just reducing that decision fatigue, right? Stop giving yourself food decisions to make every single hour of the day. If you're constantly grazing and snacking all through the day, then it's just not going to work, right? This program is in this fat loss isn't gonna work with your disordered eating happening, and not even from a calories perspective, but you have to make a decision as to whether or not to eat something 7 times a day. Like you're going to be thinking about food all day. If you can just say, I'm going to have my 3 square meals, I'm going to hit my protein, I'm going to hit my calories, and this is how,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just going to stay stuck to that. It just simplifies the amount of decisions you need to make and condenses that thinking, that time spent thinking on food way down.
Right.
And that is usually one of the more effective processes. And that client I was mentioning that was kind of just grazing all day, having like 5 or 6 smaller meals, we condensed her eating into 3 larger meals. And she's like, holy crap, this has been a massive change for me. This is amazing. And she's down 6 pounds in her first month and a half.
Wow, that's amazing. Anyways, like so, this has been like my fantastic like my episode like I wanna I really want to thank you so much for coming on. So like do you want to like tell my listeners like how to find you and like how to follow you?
Thank you, man. No, I appreciate you having me. I enjoyed the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Just look up The Biggest Fella. That's where you can find me. Probably the best place is YouTube. Just look up Big Fella with 2 G's, or Big Fella Brand on YouTube with 2 G's, big having 2 G's. That's where I post my podcast. I'm on there a lot. I'm putting that's where I spend more of my time is
Mm-hmm.
definitely over on YouTube. So I would say go check that out if you liked what I heard. But I appreciate you having me on, and
Of
it
course.
was a good time, man. Thank you.
Anytime. So like my name is like so like everyone like go and follow and like check out like all of them know his content all his content happens to be like incredible stuff. So like many ways like if you guys like enjoyed the episode like please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. I will catch you guys next time. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding. Catch you next time. Peace.